This is the first final version of my 65 millimeter spindle mount for Shapeoko. And you can see I've already kind of put this laser diode into it. And the laser diode is going to provide us with a centering tool down the road. So right now that's press fit, but it may need a dab of glue. Or maybe a slightly tighter fit in the final version of this model. But today I'm going to take this mount and I am going to thread it, or tap it, and then I'm going to try to mount it up here and see how we do. So I've just finished tapping the holes in the mount, and there's a number of holes I have to tap, and actually this introduced a problem which I'm going to have to clean up in the next revision. But these 4 holes here have to be tapped. Those are what provide the clamping force against the spindle. On top we have these 2 holes, and these 2 holes which need to be tapped. Those holes are what are going to provide mounting for the top of the dust collection system, whether you have it on the left side or the right side. On the sides there are 3 holes on each side, and these holes have to be tapped, and these are what hold the kind of dust collection central unit to the side of the mount. This one, and this one have to be tapped. Now in this particular design I made a mistake when I was tapping it, and I over tapped, and you can see that I cracked the plastic here and delaminated it just a little bit. So I'm going to have to work out a solution for that in the next revision for this part. But we're getting ready to do it, and as you can see here, the taps work great. This is a little M5 screw, and it feels great. One thing to note when tapping this stuff is you're going to create a lot of plastic chips, so make sure to blow them away between tapping holes, because the chips will cause the plastic to split or the tap to cam out. So you can see we've installed the spindle, and on the side of the mount is the dust collection piece, which goes up to the vacuum adapter. And the vacuum adapter is made to fit kind of a standard 1-and-something vacuum hose, which I'm going to figure out how to do better. But it comes down through the mounting piece here into the dust foot. And the dust foot, you can see, just has an opening all along the bottom here and is in close proximity to the cutting head. So that's how the dust collection system works, but I have a little bit of a problem right now based on the way that it's set up, which we may have to fix. It's a little hard to describe, but it has to do with the geometry of this particular spindle and this protrusion that comes out the bottom. But anyway, it seems like I'm going to have to be able to either extend the foot downward or drop the spindle downward into the holder, which right now the dust foot blocks. So anyway, there's a little bit more work to do in the design, but everything fits nicely and it's very tight. And everything is bolted on, the threading all kind of held well. I had one little incident with the thread down here at the bottom, which I'm going to fix in the design. So for now I haven't actually bolted anything there at all. But the strength, you know, it maybe moves a little bit as a result. But there's plenty of strength coming from this bolt up here on top. So that is the current state of the design. You can see also we have the laser turned on. And although I don't have enough Z-travel right now to test it, although I suppose I could just put something underneath it. If I put something underneath it, we should see that the center of the X is 40 millimeters to the left of the bit. And I'll try that right now. And this is how the laser looks when we are touching the spindle to the workpiece. So I don't have a tool to measure it right now, but you can see that they're fairly close together and seem to be aligned in one axis. What we can do right now is you see that the X looks a little bit truncated, and the reason for that is that it's shining through the dust foot. So now we'll take off the dust foot, which just snaps off, and now you can see the whole glorious laser line. So that's another option for alignment, would be to remove the dust foot, set up the tool, align everything, zero everything out, and then put the dust foot back on. But yeah, we got a little more work to do in the dust foot and in dust collection overall, but so far so good. Everything feels nice and tight, and the spindle ramps up. One thing I have to do with the spindle still is install the water cooling. So I'm going to turn it off now so I don't overheat it. More to come.